trivia. He was a witcher, a professional monster slayer. An unusual contract to lift the curse that held a monarch's daughter. It was enough to spend the night with the princess, dusk till dawn. If only she were not a deadly beast, a striga. The traitor responsible for the curse became the bait. Though gravely wounded, the Witcher lifted the curse and gained fame. The world changed with the coming of the Great War, the time of the sword and axe, the time of disdain. Geralt of Rivia disappeared, all but forgotten. But that's another story.
And now for something completely different. Welcome everybody to The Witcher. Now, I just wanted to get a few simple housekeeping things out of the way here before we get started. There won't actually be any gameplay this video, but I wanted to show off that opening cinema because it's cool, and to explain a few things about how I'm going to go about this. First thing you'll probably notice is it doesn't look all that nice, at least not by modern standards. That's because of two reasons. One, this game is a bit old. I think it's 7 years now. Oh, maybe at least 5. It's been a while. And I am running it on the lower resolution because my computer's not perfect and I would rather have it play well than look nice. I'm one of those weird people who I would rather have my game function and the gameplay be good, the story be good, and then graphics. You know, they're not the most important thing to me. I'm sorry if you guys disagree, but, you know, I don't want the game lagging and crashing on me, and this will do that. I should also explain, this is not the vanilla Witcher. This is using a special mod. I believe it's called the FRC mod. No, it's the FCR mod, because it's full combat rebalance. Yeah, FCR. And and I'll link that in this description, but it's a very cool mod because it takes all of the lore from the books that these are based off of, and it rebalances the combat system in the game so that it fits that better. And so it's going to fit that a whole lot better, and as a consequence it's going to become a whole lot harder. So if I die a lot, I'm sorry. I'm going to be playing it on the easiest level that this mod allows, but that's still harder than the hardest difficulty on the vanilla game, so may or may not work out. I played The Witcher 2 Enhanced Edition on the Xbox 360 and I loved every second of it. It's an amazing game, and I wanted to see where it started, and I wanted to share it with you guys and share the journey with me. It's kind of an underrated game. I know the second one isn't as mainstream as it probably should be because it's just so well done. The choices matter in such a massive scale. You play a completely different game depending on what choices you make. The second act changes entirely based on a choice you make in the first one. And I was really shocked to see just how differently it played out. I played it twice. I played on the hardest difficulty, and I did squeak through, barely, and so I think I might be able to do this one. But it is a different combat system. The combat mechanics are different, so expect me to get my butt kicked a lot here at the beginning, and maybe a lot at the end. And I'm hoping I'm not biting off more than I can chew. A quick explanation of the world. You saw there at the beginning that was Geralt of Rivia, who I will be playing as. He is a Witcher, which are orphans found on the roads and the forests, and they're taken in by the other Witchers and trained very, very hard to be these professional monster hunters. But not only are they trained hard, but they're subjected to these alchemical potions. And you'll see me using those because they're essential to your survival, and only Witchers can use them because of their transformative properties. And so they basically end up mutated, so they become stronger, faster, better, some low-level magical capabilities, the ability to see in the dark, things like that. But it comes at a price. They're not completely human anymore. And in this world, that's not a good thing. Humans are the dominant species, Elves and dwarves and everything else are second-class citizens. They live in the slums. There's racism. It's a dark game. There's a war just swept through here. You're going to see the aftermath of that. It's not your grandfather's fantasy. Everything is not bright and happy. And we will be dealing with some dark subject matter. And the reason for that is all of our fairy tales stem from Arthurian fairy tale, basically. So all of our stuff comes out of King Arthur in some way. That was the grandfather of all of our fairy tales. It's not that same way with Poland. If you look at our interpretations of mystical creatures and theirs, they might have similar names, but they can be very different creatures. If you've ever read the original Grimm's Brothers fairy tales, we have our version of The Little Mermaid, the Disney version where, you know, everything's happy in the end, and her father learns to let her go, and she gets the prince, and everything's wonderful, and they get married and sail off into the sunset. And Grimm's Brothers, she did the transformation, but every step felt like she was walking on broken glass. The prince ended up with another woman, and she basically died. She became sea foam. And that's their version of the fairy tale. So it's a darker world, and I like that personally. It's a more mature take on it. Like I said, I loved every second of the second game. I've read the books that this was based on, at least the ones that have been translated to English, which is 3 of them now. I highly recommend you look at them. The first one is called The Last Wish, which is a collection of short stories, and then after that is The Blood of Elves and The Time of Contempt. And those introduce Geralt of Rivia and Dandelion, who I hope shows up here. He's a bard and friend of Geralt and is absolutely hilarious. I know Yerpin shows up. I think Yerpin shows up. He's a dwarven mercenary who's a lot of fun to play around with, and I love the world. The characters are amazing. I've played a little bit of the game to make sure everything's going to work alright, and I will say the voice acting is not always perfect, but this is CD Projekt Red's first game, so I'm going to be a little forgiving there. They nailed it in the second game. They fixed most all of the problems that were here and improved it in a lot of ways. I'm extremely excited for the third game, which has just been delayed, sadly, but I'm okay with that because we're going to use that time to make it better. And I'm just thrilled to play this. I'm thrilled to get into this world. I will be exploring the lore, wandering around the town, speaking to NPCs, piecing together what's going on right now. If there's books, I will be reading them. I know books do play an important role in this game, because it's important to prepare before your fights. You can't go in and just hack and slash your way through and expect to come out. You have to know what you're getting into, what your enemies are capable of, what you are capable of, and what augments you want to use, what sword you want to use. It's all extremely different from your standard hack and slash fare. There's nothing quite like this that I'm aware of, and I very much like it for that. So I am just thrilled to get in this game. I'm thrilled to explore this world. I'm so glad you guys are going to share this with me. Tell your friends about these games. They're really, really well done. They're very different. There's nothing quite like them out right now. So it's a whole lot of fun. And I will see you in the next episode. Thank you so much again for sharing this with me.